I may, no promises. I may or may not interfere with this one because it would be funny as
No,
if I did.
stop.
No,
Okay.
you can't stop.
Okay, ready?
But-
Shh. We're gonna start this. Do you remember how Izzy started?
Wait.
Wait.
I'm gonna do one more.
Ooh, loud.
Okay.
Loud.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Hi, this is Patricia, and this is
Respective perspectives.
And I'm here with.
Hi, I'm Nathan.
Okay, so the first question we always ask on here is, how did we meet? But I don't know. I don't remember how we met.
I know how we got to know each other.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that.
You were in trouble for chemistry last year. To put it bluntly, you were in trouble for chemistry. Really?
He tutored me the whole year's syllabus in 2 weeks. And I passed that class. I passed the class and I passed that finals like very well.
Very well is
Okay,
well,
well enough.
by my standards, I wouldn't. If I got what you got, I wouldn't consider it well enough. But you paused. You passed.
If you saw how bad I was, how, like the dirt I was.
I saw how bad you were.
Okay.
But and you had an improvement.
Okay.
So kudos to that.
Thank you. Let's talk about ourselves, so we don't have to talk about my bad grades. It was 10th grade, guys. It's not anymore. I don't take chemistry anymore. So, who are you?
I'm Nathan.
Yay!
Okay. I don't know who I am, to be completely honest.
Okay.
They asked us this in TOK, and I was like,
oh, that's valid.
I have no clue. So I just drew a chameleon because really, I just changed myself to fit in with with the people around me as best as I can, for the most part.
Do you like that?
I mean, it's all I've really done for the past I don't know how long, so it's less of a question of do I like it and more of a question of does it work for me? It works for me. As for whether or not I like it, I don't know.
Okay. Well, I don't know what someone's mouthing on the outside the frame, but yeah, I know that. Oh my gosh, bro. Okay.
That was so loud.
Sorry. So, do you want to talk about your nationality and your ethnicity real quick?
Sure. It's kind of a doozy. Nationality, not really. I just have two passports. I have a French and American passport. But if we went into ethnicity, this is where things get a bit more complicated because I'm not American at all. My mom is Cambodian, but her family has been living in Cambodia in like a rural province of Cambodia for like 3 generations. But before that, like my great grandparents came from China, like southern China. So the language they speak in that province of China, in Guangdong, the language they spoke back then was Chaozhou. And that still sticks around with my grandparents, and my mom still speaks some of it today.
Yeah.
And then as for my dad, well, my dad's French, and shocker. A lot of people know me as the French guy.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get into that later. But my dad's French.
Yeah.
My grandpa's French, like my grandpa on my dad's side, he's French. But my grandma, though she lived in France, her family is of Spanish origin. And they lived and she grew up in French Algeria. She had to escape from the country when she was 17. Her brother went missing. Yeah.
Okay. So should we redirect from that?
Sure. I don't have anything else to say from that because that's all I really know.
I was gonna say, out of the things that you explained, do you resonate with any of those cultures mostly?
Well, okay. I think the most obvious one is French, just because I have plenty of opportunities to interact with that. I've gone to France before. I've spent some time in France. I speak French, like to an extent that I'm able to take HL Spanish now.
Yeah.
And I've taken French classes. I've interacted with a bunch of French people. It's definitely the culture that I know the best. But you know, there's some like associations that I can draw with myself and my other parts. Like I can I still remember and I can still understand some words of Khmer, what they speak in Cambodia. And okay, a little interesting fact about me. Khmer is not my first. Khmer is my first language. English is not my first language. English was my second language.
How old were you when you learned it?
Oh, I started speaking when I was like 1 year old or something. I don't know, like the average age. I used to think I was special. I'm not.
English?
Yeah.
How old were you?
English, I was like 3. When I moved to the U.S., what happened was, I like blocked out Khmer and French because I associated Khmer with Cambodia, and when I was young, moving was like kind of a drastic change for me. So I didn't like the idea of moving from Cambodia. So whenever somebody would speak Khmer to me, I would freak out, to put it bluntly.
Yeah.
And it was like they couldn't get that out of me. Whereas in French, I blocked that out, but my parents were able to get that back into me after a while because there wasn't that strong of an association there. So yeah, that's why I can't speak Khmer to this day.
But so do you feel like you fit in anywhere culturally?
Culturally? Oh, that's a hard question. Okay, I think part of it is kind of my own fault, just because I kind of put myself into these uncomfortable situations for myself. But teachers were all about like take risks and stuff, and I'm doing that, and I don't know if I'm enjoying it.
Okay, same. I feel you.
But to be completely honest, it really depends. Because, like, if I'm with my friend group, sure, I feel like I fit in. But then again, I'm also kind of altering how I present myself just so I can feel like I fit in. Because who I would actually consider myself to be, Hayk knows, is... who I would actually consider myself to be is not someone that other people would find acceptable. And I don't mean that in like a weird way, depending on what your definition of that is.
Yeah.
It's not like extreme in any way. It's just something that's a bit out of the ordinary, and somebody might think, oh, I don't want to talk to him because he's weird like that. I don't want to go too much into detail about it. It's nothing heavy, but
okay. Yeah. And do you think your culture played a role in that, or like your like the way you grew up?
Okay. I kind of like what you asked about culture, because there have been some moments where I do feel out of place because of that. A lot of people don't know this just because of how white presenting I am. But I am Asian. I am half Asian. I'm half white, so Wasian, as the term is. I have another term for it, but it's not as PG. I call myself a rice cracker.
Oh.
So that might have to be cut out. But yeah. But yeah,
Okay.
there's that.
I mean, we'll see.
There's that.
I mean, if you resonate with that the most, then go ahead.
I call myself Asian in most cases.
Okay.
But there have been some moments where I just feel out of place just because of how I look, as like I present myself as white.
Yeah.
But I like to associate myself more with being Asian just because I feel like I haven't been in touch with that part of myself as much. I joined the JCC last year, Japanese Cultural Club, because I'd been learning Japanese for a while and I kind of wanted to immerse myself. And, you know, in a club like that, you would as you would expect, it's full of people who are visibly Asian. And then there's me, who looks like I'm white as snow. And I don't present like the regular Asian person.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, well, this was back in 6th grade, but it was like in the hours or minutes leading up for the finale concert, because I was in like violin then, and I still do it now.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know how, but the entire class got together, of like the class of the people in my grade in that class got together, and we were like doing something, but I felt really out of place because the majority of the people that were there were visibly Asian.
Oh.
and
Yeah.
no one was really talking to me. So I think that was probably I think a factor in it was that I wasn't really friends with any of them. But even the ones that I was decently acquainted with did not really make an effort to talk to me at that time, and it felt like it was because of how I looked.
Okay. Huh.
Sure.
Well, we're here for you.
Okay.
And they're doing it in the background too. Just so you know.
Oh, cool.
Oh, not
Cool.
that. Okay. Anyways, I think this is the last question we might have to ask.
Sure.
But where is it? When did you notice the impact of your nationality or your ethnicity? Like, when did you notice like that played a role in who you are?
I mean, okay, I've been going to ISM since I was in kindergarten, so it felt like less significant then because it's such a melting pot of cultures that go to this school, and I think that's great for the most part. But when I was in elementary school, it didn't seem to play as much of a role of who I was. And then it kind of shifted when I got into middle school. Less so 5th grade. That felt more like a transition period between 4th and 5th grade. Yeah. In elementary school and middle school. But it started becoming more and more apparent like halfway through 6th grade. Because like that's when that incident, I use that word very lightly. Yeah. Incident with the kids in my strings class was. Yeah. And yeah, so it was, it was kind of. That's when it kind of started to click for me.
Yeah. Okay. And do you think that you're still finding yourself culturally or just as a person? Do you think that
culturally, I would say I know quite a lot about myself, but as a person, God, there's so much that I still need to figure out because like I barely know who I am. As was prefaced in the beginning of this, but I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm kind of learning a bit more about myself, my identity, and that sort of thing. But culturally, I would like to know more about like the backgrounds of Cambodian culture because that's like that's I lament about this quite a lot to myself, but. Cambodian culture is not as represented as I'd like it to be, and it makes it a lot harder for me to learn the language. Because it's not on Duolingo.
And we have 2 minutes. Oh, sorry, 1 second. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
It's 5. Oh, we have 1 minute. So, is there anything, lastly, you want to say to the people who are watching?
You're cool.
Facts.
I don't know you, but I assume you're cool.
Okay, so I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so we gotta say you're enough to the camera.
To that camera or that camera?
What camera you want to do?
I don't know.
You're both in frame in that one, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, ready? Okay. Oh, yeah. 3, 2, 1.
You're enough.
Okay, and thank you for this time.
Thanks for having me.
And guys, we now have 5 minutes to run to the bus. So,
cool.
Thank you. Bye.